And we are live. Good morning. What's going on, team? Johnny here with the Learn to Earn team, and today is December 12th, 2025. It is Friday, and I'm excited to be here with you all today. We are potentially going to short the market today. I want to see if it does begin to sell off more. It looks like it is going to, and looks like we are seeing some selling pressure again. Now we could get a spike up this morning. We can get some selling pressure this morning, but I'm excited to see exactly what happens today. So here we go. Welcome to another day trading session. Hope you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. All right. See, the markets pushed up yesterday in the overnight hours after close to 629. Now selling off to 621. Currently at 622.54. I'd love to see if this can sell off even more. If it does, then we will get into SQQQ. Try and make a nice $1.50, $2 per share on this Friday. Now, it doesn't mean it has to sell off, but it's definitely very possible. A nice $2 per share would be amazing. So we will see exactly what happens today. Google's selling off under that moving average. We got about 1 minute until market open. Discord members rolling in. All right. All right. Looking good on the live stream. Beautiful. Apple trying to push up. Amazon selling off. Lululemon pushed up amazing, almost 10% overnight. See if we get a correction on that. May decide to go long term on it for my investing account once it pops down a little bit. But this can go up to $200, $300, $400 again on Lululemon. Look at that, beautiful 3 stages of reversal. If it plays out to that effect. All right, QQQ. Markets are now open. Markets are beginning to sell off. Love to see what happens here. Bitcoin also curling over, trying to sell off. MSTZ could be a nice play as well. Even if it's $1, $2 per share, that'd be amazing. Doesn't mean it has to, but it definitely can. MSTR is holding up pretty well after pushing up from 171 to 186 yesterday, bringing MSTZ from 1392 down to 1194. Be nice to see a nice gap up. QQQ selling off. So we'll see what happens. It looks like it's going to bounce right off of that level here. And I would love to get MSTZ for cheaper. If it could rally, we can make a nice $100, $200 today if that's the case. Open pushing up. Wow. Beautiful. Let's see if it holds. Bull pushing, sound pushing as well. Sound could be short-lived, could get rejected off of that moving average very easily. SoFi also pushing up. Lulu pushing up even higher, $212 per share. CEO is stepping down on Lululemon, and they actually bought more of their shares. So it looks like it's a huge push up. I'd love to see QQQ pull back. I don't know if it's going to. Nvidia pushing up. Let's see. I'd love to see QQQ sell off. Bitcoin, sure, they could push up a little bit. We're at one of those levels again where, you know, on the moving average, we can see this try to pop up. And if it does, we can begin to see Bitcoin push up even higher. But if it doesn't, it can get rejected again at that $93,000 level. So here we go. Potentially buying MSTZ today. MSTR trying to pop up. All right, I would love to see this push down. Sound pushing. Okay, wow. Very nice move on sound. About 30 cents per share. Nice catalyst, again, like you saw the other day. Having a lot of consolidation above that moving average and then a nice pop up. Nice little 30-cent move right there. But it can be very short-lived. I want you guys to know that. It can be short-lived. Nothing has to go up forever. CMG pushing up. Very nice. Could try to see another breakout here. It is possible. That is not my main focus today. My main focus is to see if the markets will sell off today. And if they do, we can take advantage of that. Buying 20 shares of MSTZ to short Bitcoin. We are going to short Bitcoin at these levels. On the 4-hour, it looks like it can come down a little bit. $20 shares is nothing, guys. Okay, I just want you guys to be aware of that. 20 shares is a light position. If this pushes up, we could buy more. If it sells off, we will make some decent money. Big push up. Big push up from yesterday after market close. That's kind of my theory, is that the market will close, people will short and trade the markets, and then they'll buy into Bitcoin. Now on the 9th, it pushed up at 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock, sold off majority of the day, flatlined, sold off in the afternoon, and then as soon as midnight hit, it flatlined, and then at 9 o'clock lunchtime hit, it kind of flatlined. And then as soon as the market closed in my area at 6 o'clock, it pushed all the way up. And just a matter of time, it pushed all the way up yesterday. As you can see for MSTR, it pushed up from 171 to 186. MSTZ. So we're going to let this play out. If it pushes up, we'll buy more of MSTZ. And if it pushes down, again, we'll be making some cash. So we'll see what happens. We get this huge God candle today. Does it push up higher? Or do we get rejected off of this resistance level again? And we'll see what happens. Do you see all this resistance here around this level? Sure.
Is Gene bugging you?
No, is he in here?
No, he's putting up this boy out here.
No, he's fine, cutie.
Okay.
We have a slight descending pattern here. So see what happens. You could also gauge it off of this, I guess. So we'll see. It looks like Bitcoin wants to run up, which it can. There's nothing wrong saying that it doesn't have to. Love to buy the dip on it. Now, if QQQ pushes up, which it looks like it is, you know, we can see some more selling pressure. We got to get back above this level. It's a Friday. Usually Fridays are red. Doesn't mean it has to be red this Friday. You know, last week it pushed up and then sold off. And it's basically been, it sold off on Monday, kind of flatlined Tuesday, pushed up on Wednesday, and then sold back off for the FOMC meeting. Sold off and then pushed all the way back up yesterday. And now we're seeing some selling pressure. I believe this can bounce off of this line and come lower. Again, it doesn't have to. Open, giving it all back. Bull, pushing from 972 to 990. It's about 20 cents per share. Sound also giving it back, moving about 40 cents and coming back down now. SoFi selling off. Bitcoin coming down. MSTR beginning to drop. We're going to buy 20 more shares. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Should have bought down at 12.10. That would have been a nice lower average. But I also don't want to miss this run if it pushes up. Nice big push up. Bitcoin wanting to come down off of that, again, right off of that moving average. Let's see what happens here. That's what I'm seeing, basically. Again, this can rip all the way back up. Doesn't mean it has to stay at these levels. MSTR. See what happens. Strong rejection from crypto after a nice push up. QQQ, another strong resistance here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gene's all happy, huh? So it's the morning. I love morning. My favorite time of day besides sleeping. Now we're getting that descending pattern. Again, I'd love to see lower lows on QQQ. I believe Bitcoin can go lower as well. Adding another 20. There we go. I would love to get a nice push up, even to previous highs, $1.50 per share. Trying to get a full position of 100 shares. We're talking $100 to $150 today if it makes sense. If not, we will cut our losses for, about 30 cents. Could be potentially about $30. So risking about $30, 10, 20, $30 to make 100, 150. We're already at 60 shares. Average 1233. 1233 is our average. So we're right on that average mark. 1233 is right here. So I mean we're right along the lines. QQQ dropping. Let's see if it can drop even more. Love to see this drop even more. It's getting rejected off of that moving average for the first time since 1125, even sooner, that the 45 EMA, this blue line, is crossing over the green line. So we can get much more selling pressure. As you can see here, when it crossed over, NASDAQ market sold off even more aggressively and quicker and stayed below that level for a little while of time. So I love to see this begin to cross over and sell off. Doesn't have to happen today. It could happen next week. And it could recover. That's the thing too. It could completely recover. I thought about getting an SQQQ, but honestly, with this, I wouldn't be able to buy as many shares as I would like to make it worth my time. So that's why I thought, instead of shorting the NASDAQ market, I'm going to short Bitcoin because I could buy more shares of MSTZ if MSTR begins to sell off when Bitcoin sells off. And they had a huge rally yesterday, so there could be a nice little correction coming. It was up 8.5% yesterday, almost 9% from lows to highs. That was a $15 move. So I'm looking to see a nice retracement and correction on MSTR. Because again, MSTZ sold off the same amount, about 15%. So, MSTZ selling off 14, 15% or $2 per share. I would love to see it begin to push up. So when this sells off 8%, MSTZ can push up 16, 15, 16%. It's an inverse ETF. So I'd love to see it. There we go. Bitcoin pushing up, testing that descending pattern again. That's why it's important. See if we get a break above these levels. And if it does, then of course it'll push up. I'd love to see this push down though, right? It's trading within this range right here, right? So it pushes above 92, 92.7, or below 92.1. We will know, we'll be alerted. But Bitcoin's trading within this range pretty nicely the last few days. Same with, same with QQQ, trading within this horizontal pattern here. So here we go. QQQ is dropping, making new lows on the day. That is great to see. I'd love to see this sell off even more. And there it is. We're seeing an active sell off with the overall market. QQQ down to 620 and dropping. Bitcoin may follow. See a nice push down. We're going to add 20 shares because we do not want to miss the rally here on this trade. So now we are in 80 shares. 80 shares on Bitcoin, or on MSTZ, I'm sorry. Got my coffee today, New York cup. Of course, my ring, I need to figure out how to make it stay there a little better. It's always wrapping around. Ruby is my birthstone, but sometimes it'll like wrap around on me and go sideways or whatever. So always having to fix it and mess with it. It's like my own personal fidget spinner. Bitcoin selling off. We're going to add another 20. Now we are at we now have 100 shares. Yeah. So now we are in 100 shares of Bitcoin. 100 shares of MSTZ. I'm sorry. I'll show you guys right there. 100 shares. It's a big sell-off by Bitcoin. Love to see it sell off some more. And here we go. We're just going to do it. Full size with a little bit of extra. So 120 shares. Usually I like to do about 100. Right, a nice active drop. Gonna basically go off of these levels, right? Pushed up, bullish, coming down. Now trying to verify this sell-off here as a sell-off by validating the moving average as a resistance level. And there we go. Nice gap down. Bitcoin gapping down. QQQ below 620.60. We need to see this push down a little bit more. And it definitely can get a break of support and sell lower. That seems to be the overall pattern right now. Now it can push all the way up. Doesn't mean it has to. Bitcoin trying to push up again. MSTR back above that level. Average price 1236. So nothing too crazy here. All right, love to see a nice push up. Doesn't mean it has to. This could sell off even more. It's all about managing risk. Making sure we are taking into account everything that's playing out. I'm gonna move the average back down to 624. So if it breaks this pattern, then we will know if it breaks the pattern or not. Bitcoin as well, trying to hold. And bring this down to here, right around where that resistance is. Nasdaq trying to recover. All right. All right, we are trading. Oops. All right, we're trading with our Learn to Earn team. Waiting to see if we get another drop below. Looks like QQQ did drop below a little. We want to see a little bit more drop. It can come down this way if it really wants to. We are shorting. Bitcoin is pushing slightly, but I would love to see this also come down just a little bit more here for our MSTZ position, where we can actually see a nice push up from lows where I bought to highs. We'll see what happens here. We got 120 shares with our Learn to Earn team, and we are live. Already been live for about 28 minutes. Excited to see what happens. And this is what we do every single morning. We trade live with our LTE team. If you want to watch me trade live, get involved with other Learn to Earn members, then all you have to do is hit that first link in the description below, and that'll give you access to our Discord, 100% free, lifetime access to the first 1,000 members. After that, I will start charging, and guys, we're already at about 700 members, so there's only 300 free spots left. I'm curious to see how far we can push the group, how many members actually join, and I'm also curious to see if we make any money on this position. We have a potential to make over $100 to $200 today on this position shorting Bitcoin in these oversold or overbought conditions of the market. All right. QQQ coming back down, trying to anyways. Tesla, wow, what a nice rip up from Tesla. Musk Mars mission adds risk to red hot SpaceX IPO. Dang, from 446 to 463. What a beautiful move today. Up 3.5%, $15 per share on Tesla. Google selling off. Apple basically just consolidating. Amazon selling off. Lululemon moving average caught up with it today on the 5-minute and it's trying to push up. It's having a difficult time going higher, but it's already up 12, almost 13, now 13% overnight. What amazing trade. Nvidia, a very short-lived rally in the pre-market, giving it all back. China can crack AI code without Nvidia. Small AI deflation causes high-pitched Oracle squeak, and Nvidia rises as routers report company is mulling H200 AI output increase in China. So we'll see if we can get some more selling pressure off of that. Hood selling off. Now I thought this would be a good opportunity to maybe potentially buy Hood. I don't like to buy anything that's in a downward trend. I like those upward trends. But, you know, this could have been a nice 3 stages of a reversal, huge sell-off, consolidation, potential correction. But it looks like this is beginning to sell off even more. PayPal pushing up, but its market cap is so small compared to other ones that it's not really going to affect the market very much. Intel pushing up from $39. Very interesting, but has a descending pattern still going on. Chipotle pushing up. Now we've been talking about Chipotle for a while, how it's been selling off for quite some time. Now finally coming back down to some, levels that it's been at previously. $30 is a previous support, highs of 69, even 60. Huge gap downs, and now consolidating and trying to push its way back up. A lot of consolidation between 29 and 34. Now breaking out of what was a resistance, right? This was a resistance level, got rejected, kept consolidating and getting rejected, and now it is above that rejection level, that resistance level, trying to make new highs. So now it has at 3 stages of reversal. It's in the final stage of confirmation, and we'll see how high can this go. It can go back up to $42 levels. It can go back up to $60 levels. That would be 20% return if it goes back up to $42. And if it goes back up to $69, you're looking at close to a 90% return. So very interesting to see for Chipotle. SoFi from $30 down to $26. It sold off about 14% on SoFi. Potential to go up more if it can push higher. A nice 12% recovery. But again, all this consolidation underneath that moving average is just making it get rejected, make lower lows. So not a company I would necessarily want to trade right now at the moment. Looks like we're getting a lot of resistance around 27.30s for SoFi. And so again, another horizontal pattern here. It's not making any lower lows anymore, but it's also not making any new highs. It's just kind of consolidating. LUNR, we called LUNR out. Beautiful 3 stages of reversal. We've called this out several times. Beautiful 3 stages of reversal here back in August, and now LUNR is doing it again in November with a nice upward momentum confirmation period, buying lows of $7, $8, $9 to now highs of $12.70. What a beautiful move. That is a 50% return in less than a month. And if you wanted to wait for that breakout confirmation from 10, that is up 27% since we called it out previously, guys. 27%. That is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful move by LUNR. I love to see that our trade plans do in fact work and play out accordingly. Looks like we are seeing some resistance right around that level. So, coming into this buy zone territory and now leading into a sell zone territory. Sound, again, another one of those deals where it sells off, has consolidation, potentially trying to push up, but it has to get out of this horizontal pattern right here. And once it can cross over this 200 moving average, we're going to see a nice huge rip up from lows of 11 and 12 and $13 to highs of 15, 16, 18, 20, $22. So very excited to see what happens with sound. Bull also had some consolidation period going on. Now trying to recover. It is above that moving average on the 200-day moving average, but it's having trouble making new highs above 1030. So we're going to wait and see what happens with that. Open, same thing, a horizontal pattern for open. SQQ pushing up as the markets sell off. So we are looking good here. I'd love to see QQQ sell off even more. Are we going to get it? It looks like we might get it. Needs to break 620.64 and we can see some lower lows for the overall market. Same thing with Bitcoin selling off. Below this moving average, we can see some lower lows, which would actually help our MSTZ position, because when MSTR follows Bitcoin and sells off, MSTZ will go up and we can see some nice profits from it. So here we go. We need to get a nice little break below. There we go, below that moving average. Love to see a nice gap down, which means MSTZ will follow. QQQ making a new low. Love to see it. How low can it go? We have another support around 619. Be nice to see another break below. See a nice big red candle, some more selling pressure for the day, which would bring Bitcoin down with it. Bitcoin selling off. And here we go. And we're up $10. Nothing crazy. Almost 1%. Again, we're looking for a little bit more. We don't want to be greedy, but we are looking for a little bit more. You know, even 5%, $50, 10%, $100. You know, 12%, we're looking at $120 to $150. So we're just going to let this ride as Bitcoin sells off. We're going to raise our alerts. And again, this has plenty of room to correct itself. This can definitely sell off even more as Bitcoin comes down. But we cannot be greedy. We need to make sure we do our part by managing risk. This is a very horizontal pattern. So just because I'm trading it today and I want to see a break of pattern and a new low doesn't mean it has to, right? This thing could actually pop right now and potentially begin to make its way back up. $182. See a lot of horizontal pattern, a lot of consolidation at these levels. we go, another leg down on Bitcoin. Bitcoin making a new low. Let's see if we can get even lower. No bounces here. We want to see a break of pattern. We want to see a low. That'd be great to see. QQQ down to 619 for some more selling pressure here. All right. Next stop is 617. We'll see if it can go lower. Nice red day here. MSTZ popping up. We're now up $21. 1.5%. Not too bad for the day so far. Bitcoin selling off. Breakup pattern here. Let's see this thing push down even further. MSTZ starting to make its descent. Let this be a nice green Friday for us all. There we go, pushing up, moving our alerts up a little bit. Up $23, 1.5%. Want to make sure we're holding this a little bit longer than we normally do. Love to see this get down to 91. I mean, I'd love to see this push down even further, and it can. You know, it could have a nice red candle. MSTR can push down pretty aggressively, you know, down to 171, down to 150s. Nice. Up $40, $31. Nice push up. Love to see it. Now this thing could go up just as easily though. To begin to pop up. Looks like it's already beginning to recover. Nope. Bitcoin's selling off even more. Love to see it. MSTR trying to recover. We're at $40 at one point. Now trying to come back down. MSTR pushing down. Trying to push up. Again, we have plenty of room to move here. Plenty of room for this to push down. Trying to hold support at that 181 level from pre-market, as you can see there. Love to see it sell off more. That's only going to make our position stronger and better for MSTZ. Bitcoin trying to recover. I'd love to see a little leg down. But just like anything, it doesn't have to. We can get these huge red days or these huge sell-offs, and then we can get these recoveries. Just as fast as it sells off, it can recover. I'd love to see a little bit more selling pressure though from QQQ and Bitcoin. Love to see this stay down. Again, it's going to help our position. One point we were up 40. Now we're only up about 10. See any news on Bitcoin today? Bitcoin falls on concerns about lofty artificial intelligence related stocks following results from Oracle and Broadcom. Broadcom shares dropped in after hours trading after the chip company's sales outlook fell short of expectations, and it warned of a lower margins in AI revenue compared to non AI revenue. Oracle shares dropped as well after the database company posted disappointing revenue and raised its spending forecast. The results reignite fears of an AI bubble, offsetting the positive impact of the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts on Wednesday for risky assets. And they're saying we're only going to get one rate cut in 2026, so we will see what happens. All right, we're at 47 minutes, one of the longer live streams that we've had this week. Of course, waiting to see if we can get another gap down from Bitcoin. Even if it went down to 91, that'd be great. Doesn't mean it has to go to 89. But a lot of consolidation between 92.1 and 92.7. MSTR. Love to see a little bit more drop in MSTR. Okay, I'm going to walk away and see if we can get a nice break or if it's going to rip above. Go get some more coffee. Be right back. All right, we're back in action again. Let's see what happens here. Back up to 1260s. We're up $28, almost 2%, but it's not enough, right? It's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a nice sell-off. Looks like it sold off a bit more. Ooh, Bitcoin selling off. I love to see that. Huge red candle down. Okay, so can it go lower? I'd love to see this push a little bit lower. What's QQQ doing? Trying to sell off again. I'd love to see a little bit more selling pressure, but it doesn't mean it has to. This thing could definitely bounce right off of this level. Nice recovery here on QQQ. I believe we're going to get a little bit more selling pressure today, which would be great for our position here. Come on, keep selling off, baby. Keep selling off. Here we go. Let's see. Nice sell off. Let's go a little bit more, a little more selling pressure. Bring MSTR down a little bit more. I gotta take some profits here. I will. Our average price is right here at 1233, I believe. 1236. 1236 is our new average. I'll go ahead and delete that, but very nice. Let's see this thing push. Look how much MSTR is trying to recover. Even though Bitcoin isn't recovering by much, it was way up here earlier. It's way down here now, and MSTR was at 185. It pushed all the way down to 180, trying to recover, but it looks like it's having a hard time doing so. There we go, another leg down. Nope, you're going the wrong way. QQQ. See if we can get another leg down with QQQ. Overall NASDAQ. Come on, let's get another leg down. You do not want this to recover. There we go. Big rejection from QQQ. See another leg down potentially. There we go. Nice push down. It's no break of pattern. Still a descending pattern on MSTR. It could ride all day long up. It can actually sell off all day as well. Just depends on the overall market. Looks like Bitcoin is going to sell off a little bit more. We may start reducing our position if Bitcoin can't break this new low, right? Because it's going to be right off of this area here. If it can hold, we can see another push up. See this rally here? That's what we don't want to get caught in. Or we can get a nice, more red candle, more selling pressure. We've almost been live for an hour. Nine one seven six. Here we go. Can we get a break? Could potentially get a break below this level. MSTR trying to hold at 180, struggling to hold at 180. Look at that. The smallest little move made MSTR push up a full dollar. Let's see, open selling off as well. So giving it back all that it had gained at open and some. SQQQ or QQQ selling off more. Another leg down. That's what we want to see. A nice descending pattern. Come on, don't recover on us. Sell off some more. We want to see some more selling pressure here. Let's get another leg down. There we go. One more big leg down and we can get out of our position. I'm not trying to be greedy. Up 1.67%, 1.75%. Sound. Oh, sound selling off. Again, giving everything back that it had gained from this morning and some. So it's giving it all back. People are going to be getting out of their positions. They're going to be going more cash now. QQQ breaking below 1677. Big break below. Beautiful. Beautiful break below. That's exactly what we wanted to see on the overall market. Let's see if it can hold, if it makes a lower low, which means Bitcoin is selling off as well. Love to see it. Another push down. There we go. Going to be retesting this moving average here. We may consider locking in some profits. MSTR trying to follow but not selling as much as Bitcoin. This thing should be coming down significantly because Bitcoin came down so much. 91.5 for Bitcoin. Look at this huge leg down and MSTR is not even following. Very strange. So we can get a nice push. Come on. Bring in the more selling pressure here. Break this level. Sell off even more. For some reason MSTR is trying to hold at 181. I don't even know why. If Bitcoin is selling off. Could be delayed. Slightly delayed. And there we go. MSTR going to follow Bitcoin to the depths. Very nice. This very nice move here for Bitcoin. Buying MSTR way up here to short it. Buying MSTZ down in this level. 1236 is my moving average. Up $30. Let's see if we can hit $40 or $50 today. I mean, look at this. Bitcoin is selling off, and MSTZ is not following at all. It is not following at all with it. It kind of is, but not really. Nice big red candle from Bitcoin. Continuation onto the downside because it broke that support here. So let's see it sell off even further. MSTR is not really following Bitcoin though. All right. MSTR should be selling off more aggressively. This broke support, and for MSTR, I mean, it broke support a little bit, not much. Trying to hold. Now we could see some more selling pressure here. I'd love to see a nice big break. Because Bitcoin is still selling off, guys. Bitcoin is continuing to sell off. I keep having to move my alert down even further. Here we go. Bitcoin's now at 91,200. MSTR should follow. We should see a nice, look at this, bouncing right off of this resistance level on the 30-minute, right off of the 200 EMA for a nice red candle below. I mean, we can get a nice big red candle. It goes down 3%. We could see, you know, this push up 6%. And we could make a decent amount of money. 6% with a 1236 share price, 1313. You know, we're talking $80 easy. We're at 41. Come on. Open also selling off today. So I have to bring back my alert even more. Look at this red candle. Overall NASDAQ selling off. Whoa! Look how big that red candle is. I would love to see it break this level and go down even further. Doesn't mean it has to. It could bounce off of this level and have a full recovery. Now Bitcoin down to 91,000. Big red candle. This is exactly what we were wanting. MSTR falling. There we go. There's the break that we wanted to see. MSTR up to 1275. Up $47. 48. Keep pushing. 90,000. Bitcoin is falling aggressively. We're going to go ahead and sell 20 shares right here. We're going to sell 20 right here at 1276, 1275. We could see a recovery here. I'd love to see more selling pressure. Looks like it's already recovered. Yeah, about 50 points. Nothing too crazy. Come on. MSTR trying to recover for no reason at all as Bitcoin sells off. Nice big sell off. We're going to sell half of our position here. We don't want to be giving it all back. Oh, we're going to wait here. Nice big push. MSTR did break. We're going to sell half right here. Selling 50 shares. Bitcoin continuing to fall. There's nothing wrong with locking in profits. Here we go, another red candle. Woo! There we go. There's no reason MSTR should be recovering right now, at all. No reason it should be recovering at all. And I think we're going to lock in our profits right here, live. All right, let's see. No reason this should be recovering at all. The smallest little green candle in MSTR is trying to recover. There's no reason it needs to. And right there is where we're going to lock in profits. Right there. There we go. Made 3% on the day. And just like that, guys, locked in 3% on the day within 1 hour of trading. We are now up, what, 49, almost $50. I did save my one lucky share of MSTZ, buying the low down here and selling that high. As Bitcoin began to sell off, we were able to capture this huge sell off, this break of support here, all the way down to 90,000. MSTR did not follow as much as I would have liked, only pushing from 185 down to 179, but doing a great job by locking in those profits. Up $50 today, guys. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. If you guys want to watch me trade live every single morning at market open, all you have to do is click the first link in the description below and you can tune in, watch me trade live, follow along if you'd like, and start making some money. All right, now let's move on with the day. It's Friday, and it's time to go do something fun. Real quick, I just wanted to show you the areas I bought on MSTZ and the area I sold, and it's still continuing to push up, but these are the patterns that I love to trade. It's showing signs of support. The moving average is pushing up, and it's following that 45 EMA as I added into here. It followed it up very nicely. I sold right here at that resistance level, and it looks like it's pushing higher. Still locking in over $50, just shy of $50 in profits with the team. And just like that, guys, we're able to lock in some decent money. No point in chasing the stock now. I mean, this thing can obviously sell off even more. I could have did a good job by just holding on to maybe 50 of those shares, selling at 1280, 1277, 1276. I could have locked in another 20 to, $30. I'd say probably a good maybe $15 to $20 I could have locked in. But again, why would I hold on to this position if it were to curl over, and I've seen it before, give it all back just to try to lock in an extra 10 or 20 bucks? Lock in your money, make your money, and bounce. There's no point in getting greedy, holding to make an extra $10 or $15 could have gone the other way, and I could have gave it all back and broke even today or even lost money. So we did a great job by locking in 3%. That's a good average. I like to try to make anywhere between 2 to 3% on a trade by risking either 1% or less. So I always like to have that 1 for 2 risk to reward, 1 for 3 risk to reward. Now there's sometimes we could have a nice 1 to 5 risk reward. So now, okay, we're risking 10 bucks to make 100, and that's exactly what we were thinking today. I did want to risk about $10 to make around $100, and that just wasn't the case. But even 1% would have only been a 10-cent drop on 100 shares, and potentially making even more. Making 12% on this trade could have resulted in a nice $120, $140. But again, that doesn't always play out that way. Just because you want it to doesn't mean it has to. Bitcoin had a huge sell-off. We had a huge sell-off today. It sold off 2.5%. Okay, 2.5% it sold off, and MSTR barely moved compared to yesterday. This rallied almost 5%, and MSTR pushed up 8%, right? So for having such a huge sell-off today, MSTR just did not follow. Having a 2.5% sell-off, MSTR did not follow that at all. We barely seen, about a 3% sell-off. We should have seen much more than that. We should have seen about maybe 4 or 5% of a sell-off. More than half of this should have came down, and it didn't, and that's okay. It doesn't always have to play that way. As you can see here, Bitcoin pushed up, gave literally more than half of it back, and that was my thought process. I thought MSTR could give more than half of it back. Now the day's still early. We could still see a 5% sell-off with MSTR, which means MSTZ could have pushed up, around 10%. We'd be looking more at around 1360, 1350. So if you want to hold on to your MST position, you can. But I just felt like, hey, we should just lock in profits, get out while we can, because again, this thing can literally turn around. MSTR, it looks like it's already trying to make a recovery. These big swings here, I just didn't like the way those look. And yeah, this thing can push up even higher, which means MSTZ would go down even lower. So it was a great solid day. And yeah, I'm glad we were able to capture it live on the channel. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and we will be trading live again next week at market open. So you guys have a great day.